Hey everyone, welcome to my Tongkat Ali journey. We're now 5 weeks in, and I've got some pretty good updates to share in this video. If you're new here, I'm Matt, and I've been using Tongkat Ali for the past month and a bit now in an attempt to raise my testosterone after a blood result that wasn't where I wanted it to be. To learn more about that, maybe go back to some of the earlier videos. But in short, the symptoms for me were like a lower mood, lower libido, a worse athletic performance, and sort of just a general apathy towards a lot of regular things in life. But we're now week 5 in this, and there's a few new things that I've noticed this week. So first up, I wanted to talk about something that was a little bit unexpected for me. A couple of long-standing or medium to long-standing sort of injuries that I've been dealing with seem to have improved. This was actually something that I picked up on after a question from a subscriber. So I haven't mentioned this before, but I've been dealing with like a persistent hamstring issue for the past few months, and it's been a constant niggle that I think I've just gotten used to working around. But after reading that question in the comments, it sort of clicked, and I realised that has gone. Like, it's completely gone. Um, Before, if I sort of attempted to just bend over and touch my toes, I'd feel this sharp pinch, like in the meat of my hammy. And it meant that I was unable to do certain movements, and I'd just sort of given up on running, which I used to quite enjoy doing. And even if I was walking for quite a long time, um, I found that I'd have to start shifting my body in a funny way to sort of avoid the pulling and like the niggle there. But yeah, I think I'd just gotten so used to it that I didn't even notice that it had subsided. I'm actually over the moon with this because injuries, like, they're just the worst, and I'm not made of rubber and magic anymore like I was in my 20s. So yeah, it's a very welcome bonus for me. And again, like I've said before, I'm not saying that Tonka Ali is responsible for this in any way, but it's certainly an interesting development. And on top of that as well, I have been dealing with a really like frustrating issue with my SCM muscle, the one that sort of connects your neck and chest and ear that runs down here. And for over a year now, I've like that's been causing me this on and off, but like very intense inner ear pain whenever I do certain chest exercises like deficit push-ups or something. Anything that sort of forced my arms back and really put a stretch on this section here. Like the actually even just like regular exercises could make it flare up, or shoulder exercises, but it would the day after I'd often get like a really bad flare up where I would get this debilitating shooting pain in my ear, to the point where I would have to take codeine sometimes just to let the pain sort of subside. And I've gone through like countless treatments, been in and out of the GP and physios, and I've been doing lots of stretches to try and make it subside. And again, I think I've just been sort of ignoring or working around it where possible. And yeah, I'm sort of happy to report that in the last few weeks, that really seems to have like tapered down as well, to the point where like I might still feel a pull every now and again, but never amounts to the pain, like actual pain, like it did before. And again, like I can't say that this is down to Tongkat, but maybe some kind of enhanced recovery or tissue healing or something is going on. But like the timing is just very interesting for me, and that's, like I said, that's been over a year now. I think that was February last year that's been going on since. But yeah, chuffed. Another question that came up was body composition. One of you asked in the comments. So I re-weighed myself on some smart scales that I've got. And it turns out that this week, well, since I last measured myself, which was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, my weight's gone up from, I've got my notes here, 89.6 kilos to 91.4. but my body fat percentage has actually dropped slightly from 17% to 16.8, and my water levels have remained static. So I know that there can be fluctuations in these measurements, and there can be, even just like food and stuff in your gut and whatnot. But it seems to suggest to me that maybe I'm gaining some muscle mass, and of course this could be just down to the fact that I'm getting back into the gym properly, and I'm making probably better diet choices and everything as well, thanks to just my improved mood and focus. That could be down to just like down to that, but it could be down to a direct result of the increase in testosterone that's making me feel that way. But whatever it is, I'm very happy with that. And other improvements, as with last week, my sleep. So this week I've had three sleep scores in the 90 percentiles. And that's something I haven't seen, I think it was since May or June. I'm actually waking up, I'm feeling like I could probably still drift off for another hour. But that's actually a nice change. And again, according to Garmin, not perfect, we know, but my REM sleep has been consistently around 2 to 2.5 hours a night, which is an improvement for me. But it's my deep sleep that's shot up to between 1 and 1.5 hours a night, which might not sound like much to some people, but I used to get between 15 and 30 minutes a night. So that's a massive improvement for me, and has to be taken with a pinch of salt, I know. But really, really good things to sort of see that they're moving in the right direction. In terms of mood and libido, as I said last week, things seem to have leveled out a bit, but they're both still definitely much better than before. I just haven't noticed any additional, should we say, surges or improvements this week. Honestly, though, they just both feel normal again, which is exactly what I was hoping for. On the skin front, things are still looking up. My skin seems to be less oily, and I've had sort of fewer breakouts again this week, except for this one ridiculously painful like whitehead I got on the inside of my nose that came out of nowhere. I know that's like too much information, but why are they like the most painful ones in the world, more than anywhere else on the body? Like, I was nearly in tears trying to sort that out. Appetite, still running high. I've had a couple of days where I tried to control my eating, and I really felt the effects later on or the next morning. I think just because I was thinking, I don't need to eat so much, so I wouldn't allow myself to do it. And I usually sort of eat intuitively rather than tracking my calories or anything, but I think it might be worth doing for a while just to make sure that I'm getting what I need. It's possible that with the increased exercise and sort of energy output, and I might inadvertently be putting myself in a calorie deficit maybe on some days. And if that's the case, then I just want to know about it so that I can make sure that I'm fueling myself properly and like getting the most out of my training and out of this supplement. And in terms of training, I've actually noticed that my recovery seems to be a bit quicker, to the point where I'm actually considering adding in an additional day of weight training to my routine. Like back in the day, I could easily handle 6 training days a week, but lately I've been sticking to sort of 4, maybe 5. But now, even with these more intense workouts, I'm still recovering better. So if that recovery is there, then I think why not see what's possible and see if I can deal with it. I definitely don't want to run myself into the ground, so I'm going to keep a close eye on how I feel. But yeah, I might try and throw another one in, see what happens. I also noticed that someone else in the comments mentioned that they've read that a lot of people seem to start noticing the real effects from the week 4 to 6 mark of supplementation. And personally, I started to notice effects much earlier. If you've seen the previous videos, I mean, we probably different people have obviously very different hormone profiles and where they're at with their levels and whatnot. But I'm like in that 4 to 6 week stretch now, And perhaps that's why I feel like things have sort of stabilized and they're in a better place and maybe less tumultuous than they were in previous weeks. But yeah, I'm definitely keen to see what happens in the next three. Yeah, and as I've said, after that, I'll get my blood work done to see what the results are and decide how to proceed in terms of time off and starting back up again. I've also been reading a lot about Fidogia agrestis being added to Tongkat Ali regimens for sort of like hormone health, and I'm going to look into that and see if I can find a reputable sort of supplier that doesn't require me to remortgage my house to get a supply of it. But if that's something that you'd like to see, then yeah, let me know. But yeah, I'm quite interested in that as well. But yeah, that's where we're at for this week. Week 5 done. As always, feel free to drop me any questions or any comments below. It's actually been really nice talking to some of you guys that I know are on the journey with me, or that are trying it for yourself, or just considering trying it for yourself. I'm always happy to chat. It's great stuff. But yeah, stay safe, and I'll see you all next week for week 6. Thanks.